Earth Science Edition. This is Miss Norris Teaches Science, and today I'm going to start in a new series of videos about Earth Science topics from what I would teach if I taught Earth Science. I have taught it before. I don't teach it that often, but I do teach it every once in a while. So, Earth and environmental science. We're going to start with this video. Today, we're going to really talk about what it is to be earth science, what it is to be environmental science. So your goal for this video is I can describe how earth and environmental science is organized. Before we do that, what is science? Usually when you go into high school in the state I teach in, earth science is the first science you take in high school. So we usually start off with what is science? Well, science is a system of knowledge and the method used to find that knowledge. So it's how the knowledge is organized and how we find the knowledge. Usually, science begins with something called curiosity. You want to know something. And by the end of doing science, you come up with a discovery. It may be a small discovery for just you, or it could be a big giant discovery like, I don't know, the law of gravity. But what is earth science? Earth science is a part of science. Yes, there's many different sciences. You have earth science, environmental science, chemistry, physics, biology, life sciences. I could go in so many different science disciplines. So earth science is the science areas that deals with earth processes and the earth's place in space. So you're going to deal with everything that's on earth, and you're going to talk about how it is stationed or moving through the universe. So, areas Earth science studies. The first two are astronomy and meteorology. Astronomy is right here. I'm kind of circling it with my mouse. Let me just get the laser pointer. Astronomy. Astronomy is the study of objects past the atmosphere. Anything past our atmosphere is the study of them. So we could be studying stars, we could be studying the moon or moons, because there's multiple moons out there. We could be studying planets, we could be studying comets, we could study galaxies. There's a whole bunch of things that astronomy could study. The other one up here is meteorology. These are the first two. We're going to talk about two more on the next slide. Meteorology. I love meteorology. If I wasn't a science teacher, I would have went to school to be a meteorologist. Not one of the ones on TV. I'm like doing the real. I'm doing the science. I'm chasing tornadoes. I'm chasing hurricanes. I'm one of those type of meteorology people. I don't do that much in my life. I do watch storms. I will sit outside and watch a storm for days. Where I live, we get hurricanes a lot, and I will sit outside during a hurricane when it's not too windy and just watch everything. But meteorology is the study of the atmosphere, all the weather, all the climate processes. So we're talking about hurricanes, temperature, rain, clouds, all of that stuff in meteorology. The other two areas that things will classify under is geology and oceanography. Geology is talking about the makeup of the earth and all the processes that change the earth or form features of the earth. So when you talk about geology, you're talking like rocks, minerals, volcanoes, earthquakes, plate tectonics, weathering, erosion. Those are things in geology. And oceanography is the study of the ocean. The ocean, how the ocean is structured, the different animals in the ocean, the currents, the tides, the trenches. As you see in this GIF, here's an ocean animal. This is called goblin shark. Goblin sharks are one of my favorite sharks out there. They're just so weird, and I'm weird, so we just go along together. Now, when we talk about Earth science, there are four major spheres or systems in the Earth, and I kind of mentioned them in the last couple slides. First one is called the hydrosphere. Hydro means water, so it's all the water on Earth. So we're talking about lakes, oceans, wetlands, all of those spheres. And then you have the atmosphere. This is the gas layer above the surface. This is where the weather and climate on Earth happens. The atmosphere makes life possible for Earth. The next two spheres are the geosphere, or we can call it the lithosphere. It just depends on who you talk to. This is beneath both the hydrosphere and the atmosphere. It's the land. And we divide the geosphere into three parts: the core, the mantle, and the crust. So stuff like earthquakes, volcanoes, this stuff will fall under the geosphere. And then the biosphere is all life on Earth. It's the environment. And so trees, mushrooms, birds, those would be in the biosphere. What is environmental science? So in this section of videos, we're going to talk about earth science processes, but we're also going to talk about environmental side of science. And so environmental science is the study of how humans use resources and the effect it has on the earth. So we're going to talk about how humans are affecting the earth, but we're also going to talk about how the processes in the environment go along with the earth science processes. So we're going to study anthropogenic and non-anthropogenic results. So this word anthropogenic, that means humans. That is basically what it means to talk about the human factor and the non-human factors. So, what does environmental science deal with? We can talk about renewable resources, solar energy, wind energy, non renewable resources like coal and oil. We'll talk about population growth, how things grow in the population. We can talk about environmental problems like pollution. And we can talk about some natural hazards like volcanoes and erosion and all that stuff. So environmental science and earth science kind of work together. You go in between them when you talk about each of them. But this is a little bit about earth science and what we're going to talk about in these videos. I hope you learned something today, and I'm Mr. Norris, and I am signing out for this video.